Hello everyone, it's Sunday. I trust everyone had a wonderful week. Today I'm going to be continuing part 2 of embossing folders. And if after you have reviewed this video, you do enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I am also happy if you're able to share any experiences you may have had with using embossing folders. But basically, for those who are not too familiar with the embossing folder, an embossing folder just basically is a folder, typically. And what this does is provides you with a design, basically, for your cards, which essentially does allow you to, like this is feathers. It gives you the option to use it in different ways, at least two different ways, which I have been working on during the week. And now that I think I have gotten the which side is which, I want to say, then I'm hoping I'll be able to explain to you how to use those. But I want to show you how neat embossing folders are. Sometimes you just run out of ideas on how to, maybe designs or things that you want to do. And an embossing folder kind of is like, for me, it's a go-to where you pretty much get the design and then you just add whatever you want to it, which may not be much because the embossing folder in itself is kind of self-sufficient, and you can either leave it plain, you can add color to it. It just depends on what you would like. And I want to show you what I'm referring to. This is an embossing folder. On the back here it's basically like tropical leaves on the back. What I did was I run it through the folder, and then I used my brayer and just colored it up and just added, a couple of things here, and boom, there you have it. So an embossing folder is very handy if you want to do some, some quick cards, or, you don't really have the time to sit down and die cut things, and, just, you want something really quick. I think for me, embossing folders would be your go-to. It's good to have them, just because. And of course, if you do feel that you don't want to sit down designing anything, an embossing folder will give you that extra leverage to do something, quickly and different. The only thing you would do, like I said, is maybe add color, leave it plain, or whatever choice you have. So this is another one I've been doing. I'm working on masculine cards, so this is one of those. Again, this is an embossing folder. All I pretty much did was mat it with a black trimming, and then I just use distress ink, which I will show you later, and I just run it across. In it should be 3 different shades, but it looks kind of, the two browns looks kind of really close, but that's okay. But I will show you how this one, how I got this one done. And of course, this is the one I did with the brayer. So I'm going to show you today how to use the embossing folder if perchance you're not really familiar with it, just the options you have. This one is feathers. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do a plain one so that you can see. I'm just going to run it through the Cuttlebug, just a plain old feather one, so you can see how, basically how I got this one. So I'm going to run this first, and I'm also going to let you know how which side to put, your color, if you want color on it. As we go on, I will definitely show you. So to begin, let me get my sandwich, which is my Cuttlebug. I have 2B plates and my A plate. So I'm going to put the embossing folder in with the paper in here. I haven't chosen any side or anything because I'm not interested in sides right now. I'm just going to run it through, and that's it. Okay. So I'm running this. Okay, so this is your plain old. So you have the raised side, if you can see here, and then you have the depression, the like more of an imprint on this side, and the elevated, well, I call it elevated side or 3D type looking side, right? So you have the choice to use it plain as it is, either with this side, which is the indented side, or you have the raised side. It's up to you. If you just want to be plain, that's it. You just go ahead and place it on your card, and let me show you here. That's just any base, not anything particular. You can just place it on like that, add your sentiment. If you're okay with that, that's fine. Maybe add a little gem here, gem there, you know, it just basically depends on you. So this is the plain, okay, just that's it. The other option you have, so I'm going to put plain aside. The other option you have is to add color, but it depends on what side you want the color. Now, some of the embossing folders will show you exactly which side. I think this is it, right? Okay. Some of the embossing folders will tell you which side to put your ink or whatever you're putting on there, so that you will know which side you would like. Unfortunately, in a case like this, like mine, some folders do not come with a mark to tell you which side is which. So this is what we're going to do today. I'm going to go ahead and just guide you on this one. I'm going to put the Cuttlebug aside for just a second right here. I am going to use my brayer, okay? Now, right now, I'm going to be putting some ink on the depressed side, meaning, you know, the sunken side, if that makes sense. And I'm a visual learner, so it does help if I can see. So if there are people out there like me who are visual learners, then let's go ahead and look at this together. So this is the indented side, okay? I'm going to put the ink on this side. I'm just going to roll my brayer here, and this is a brayer, you know, it picks up the ink. And then I'm just going to run it over. Just go ahead and run it over like this. And I want to turn this because I want the green on the other side. I'm just going to turn it and just roll on. Now when you're using the brayer, just go ahead and roll from off the page on. So I'm just going to go ahead and just roll this. Make sure it's all together. And then try to get it a little over the top here, or to the other side, which would allow you to make sure that your entire sheet gets done. Okay, now I have done the indented side, but I am going to put my plain paper on the elevated side, and let's see what happens. So I'm going to make sure this is in here nicely. I am going to close that. Let me get my Cuttlebug back. Remember, I put it on the indented side, or the side that is depressed. So let's see where the ink will be showing, or the color. So I'm going to take this up very gently, and I'm going to run it through the Cuttlebug. Okay, let's see. Now, remember, I had put it on the indented side, right? This is what happened. I placed it on the indented side and placed the blank piece of paper on the elevated side, and the color went in between the pattern. So if you can see, let me see if you can look at it. You can see it's raised, right? And then, so this is this side, which is the raised side, but the color is in between. So you have this impression here. Okay, now I'm just going to get a baby wipe. So remember, if you use or color the indented side on any folder, then that color is going to be transferred in between the elevated side. So it's like it's coloring the background instead of the actual color. Okay, I mean, sorry, the background instead of the actual elevated print itself. Okay, so that would be for the background. So indented side is the background, and you put the piece that you want to color on the opposite side. So whichever side you're using, then just do the opposite. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and flip, and I'm going to color the actual elevated side. I'm going to put this aside again. So this would be basically what we'll be doing today, just showing you what happens depending on which side. So this is the elevated side. I'm going to color this elevated side in a different color. I have red and black here. So I'm just going to just do this really quickly. Again, I'm going to start from on the mat, and I'm going to roll over. I'm just going to do this. And I'm just going to roll it this way. Now, we are doing the elevated side. Just remember that. So even if you don't have the mark as to which side needs to be done, just remember, if you put the ink on the indented side or the depressed side, or I'm not sure how, use whatever term you want to help you, then you are coloring in between the elevated or the pattern. Okay, so let's look at this. Set this aside. I'm going to use this. Now, I'm going to put it on the opposite side. So when I did the first part, I colored the indented side and I put the paper on the elevated side. Now I did the elevated side. I'm going to put the paper on the opposite side. Where is my paper? I just lost it. Oh, there we are. Now I'm going to put it now on the opposite side, which is the depressed side. So I colored the elevated. I put the paper on the depressed side, and I am going to close it. Okay, let's take a look and see what happens now. And I know there are lots of us out there who are visual learners, so I can definitely appreciate you trying to figure this out, because it took me with using embossing folders for a little bit. Now I'm able to understand exactly how this works. Okay, so I have run it through. Let's see what happens now. Okay, so if you notice here, I don't know if you can see, now the color is in between the leaves, right? Now there's something I also want to check. With this option here, I colored the elevated side, which is this that wasn't colored. I put the paper on the opposite side, and this is the color went inside the print. But you also have the option to use the other side as well. Okay, now we're going to try one more option here to see what happens. So I'm going to take that baby wipe again, and then I'm going to wipe up all of this, make sure I get the color. And you could also decide to try other options if you wish. And with embossing folders, it doesn't matter which side really, it's just your preference. Again, if you do the flat side or the smooth side or the indented side or the depressed side, whatever you want to call it, again, it colors around the pattern. Okay, so flat side around the pattern, elevated side inside the pattern. Okay, and of course you have your plain old, just use it whichever side you want. Let's try one more thing. This time I am going to put the color on the elevated side. I'm going to use that, and I'm going to also put it on the elevated side. Hold on, let's take a look at this. And that's how you really learn how you use the folders, because one can tell you it 1,000 times, and if you're not understanding, you have to get it done yourself, like me, so you can really appreciate this. Let's go ahead and put this again on the elevated side. Whoops. Scanner in my way. Now I'm just going to just do some little extra color in here because I want to make sure I get a nice little pattern. Okay, now I'm going to take this folder and I'm going to put it on the same side. Let's see if it makes a difference. Here we go. I'm doing it on the same side that I colored, which is the elevated side. Let's see what happens now. If it makes a difference. I'm not sure. I'm just seeing if it does because I did not try that one. So I did the elevated side and I'm running it through my Cuttlebug right now. And let's see what happens. Okay. Let's see what happens. Okay, pretty much the same thing. All right, so let us recap so that we can all be on the same page. And this is specifically trying to understand which side you want to color depending on your preference, the way you want the color to be, and knowing which side to color to do what. Okay, again, if you want to color in between your pattern, you are going to color the depressed side or the smooth side or the side that has the indent. Okay, and I'm going to show you this again. This would be the indented side. Okay, on this folder, this is my indented side because you could feel the indent in here. So this is the indented side. The elevated side is, you could feel the surrounding is elevated, and you can feel it, you can see it. So when I wanted to get this side here, I do apologize. When I wanted to color the background of my elevated side, I put the ink on the depressed side. I put my piece of the cardstock on the elevated side. I closed it up and I run it through the Cuttlebug, and then I got this. Okay, so my feathers are all up. If you notice the raised look, and it shows them a lot more. And of course, it colored the in between. So that's one option. I wanted to color the insides this time, so I put the ink on the raised side and I put the card on the opposite. So depending on which side you want, paint one side, put the paper opposite, close. Okay, I have it on this side, put the paper close. I paint this side, put the paper close. So these are the options you have when you're using embossing folders, and I just wanted to see if that helped. Some of us here who have trouble figuring out which side, and not all embossing folders come with something that says, hey, use this side if this is the right side, or it doesn't say anything. As you see, this is all plain, so I don't know which side I want. But now that I have done the actual figure it out on my own, I know exactly what I need to do and what, depending on the look I want. So with that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was definitely some sort of eye-opener for anyone out there who's interested in embossing folders and kind of feeling a little intimidated by them. And next week I will be doing how you emboss and then color. Okay, and just show you a couple of ways you can color. So thank you so very much for being patient and watching this video to the end. I hope to see you guys next week. Please stay safe, and there's a lot going on in this world today, so I just urge everyone to be in prayers, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much for those of you who have subscribed to my YouTube channel recently. This is definitely truly appreciated. I will see you guys next week, God willing. Bye bye.